Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ and welcome to Snap or Pass. Today we're talking about Scarlet Spider, one of the cards I'm most excited for this season. He's a 4/5, activate, add an exact clone of this to another location. In this video we're going to be talking about the Spotlight Cache week that he's in and whether that's any good. We're going to be looking at the mechanics, key synergies, some awesome deck ideas for you, and ultimately whether he is a Snap or Pass should you buy him. Before I get into the video, I just want to say that I'm filming this like 3 weeks in advance before he comes out because I'm going on holiday to Florida. I'm extremely excited. I cannot wait to go. But it does mean that all of this analysis is several weeks in advance. So I don't know if there'll be like OTA or patch changes that might impact Scarlet Spider. But I think we're relatively good. Also, we're on the road to 2,099 subscribers, so I'd massively appreciate it if you subscribed. We've got loads of awesome videos coming soon, including a very special one for the 2,099 subscriber special, so please subscribe. So, the Spotlight week that Scarlet Spider is in. This is a good value week because we've got 3 Series 5 cards, so that's good. We've got Scar, who is good now, but is about to get much better in the Asgard season. There is a new card called Surtur coming, and he is a massive Scar card. I won't go into the details on Surtur just yet because it's very early, he might change, but just bear in mind that Scar's stonks are likely to skyrocket. And White Widow, generally a very good card, such a good card that she recently got nerfed, and she's still very strong. Clog is very strong in the meta at the moment, especially against the Activate Symbiote Spider-Man card. I mean, I'm filming this 3 weeks in advance, like I said, so I don't actually know that for certain, but I certainly expect so. But she's still a great card. So overall, this is a very good Spotlight week, and I'd highly recommend it. I also think the variants are very, very strong. So yeah, very good week overall. Let's move on to the mechanics. Like I say, I'm so excited for Scarlet Spider. He's one of my favourite characters in the comics. I really hope, really hope that we get his latest rendition character in the game eventually, which is Chasm. I would love to get that card. He would look so good as well. Anyway, let's talk about the mechanics. Because he's an activate, he's unique in benefiting from hand and field buff. What I mean by that is cards like Iron Heart, who buff cards on the field, and also locations, like I've got some of the locations he benefits from here, including Aunt May's and Muir Island. So stuff that happens on the field, but also hand buff. So Gwenpool, other cards that are hand buff cards that I've forgotten. No, sorry, I did that thing where I froze. Yeah, anyway, he benefits from both, so that's really good. The exact clone element of his power actually just means, like, it's just flavor text. It actually just means a copy with no ability, actually, which is significant for Patriot decks. So maybe we're going to look at a Patriot deck in a minute. And he has a broad synergy with generally, I would say any deck, but certainly buff decks, Patriot decks. He's got broad synergy with locations. There's tons of stuff that Scarlet Spider is going to work very well in. Lockdown decks, Sandman decks, all of this stuff. Pros: excellent value. I said that word wrong, but let's say it again. Excellent value. Base 10 power, split across 2 locations, and that is literally just the base. So he's a 4/10. Can't be Shang-Chi'd. Yes, it can be disrupted by things like Red Guardian, or potentially if you're buffing him, you know, Shadow King and all that sort of thing. But that is the base. If you build a deck around this guy, or put this guy into a deck that benefits from everything around him. That's basically just saying the same thing twice. But he's going to astronomically scale. Any buff that you give him doubles because you're creating a copy. So he can go huge. And I've already said this, but lots of location synergies, lots of card synergies. And I think, again, we spoke about this a little bit with Madam Web. Don't underestimate how, when you have a card that makes you feel good, don't underestimate how powerful that is, how strong that is. If this card feels good to play, and feels good to play so often, like activating it is going to feel so good. Those endorphins that it's going to release is amazing. So I honestly think this guy is probably, like, this guy will probably improve your mental health. There, I've said it. But the cons, there are of course downsides. He's unpredictable, so you won't know where the clone is going to go. Now, you can force it. You can block a location if you want a clone to go into a specific location or place. So, sort of fine. But yeah, generally, you can't guarantee where he's going to go. And he is a big Red Guardian target. You could invest a lot into a strategy which doesn't work. You do all of this buff, like you target him explicitly to get buffed, and then they Red Guardian you and you can't quite get it working. Now, the thing is, he's a 4-cost card. So yes, they can Red Guardian him, but it means they're holding on to Red Guardian for a while potentially. So yeah, there's conversations here. But one more thing I want to mention, I got the images on screen here. Shuri's Lab. Yeah, Shuri's Lab is a snap. Like if Shuri's Lab comes up, you better make sure that you snap. Because you play him on Shuri's Lab, he becomes a 10, and then you activate him next turn, he's just become a 20. He's a 420. And that's if you haven't buffed him already. God, I love this card. I love this card. I love this card. Right, let's talk about counters. We pretty much mentioned all of them already, actually. Red Guardian is going to be able to stop the activate completely, and you won't be able to duplicate him. So that's going to absolutely suck. So just be extremely careful of Red Guardian. And by the way, I'm gutted that I can't get this variant of Red Guardian. I think it's incredible, but I missed out on Red Guardian. Shang-Chi is a mental one. Now, of course, the good thing is, potentially Shang-Chi is only going to be able to get 1/2 of Scarlet Spider. Although the bad news is, if you're greedy and you hold on to that 10 power plus Scarlet Spider and you don't activate it before they Shang-Chi, well, more fool you. And of course, Shadow King can bring down that buffed Scarlet Spider as well. You can still duplicate it, so it's, you know, it's not the end of the world, but just bear those counters in mind because they are quite strong and significant ones. Let's move on to the key synergies and some deck ideas for you. Oh god, I've said it before, guys. Is he my most anticipated card of the season? I just love everything about him. So key synergies include Aranya, brand new card from last week. You play Aranya onto Scarlet Spider. He becomes a 4/7, which becomes a 4/14 essentially. Absolutely crazy value. So good. Does move as well. Fun. You got a Forge. Again, similar to Aranya, but a bit more immediate. Hulkbuster is going to be very interesting. You get Scarlet Spider down on 4, get that Hulkbuster on him, and he becomes an 8 power card. So a 16 power card, technically. Gwenpool's going to be really nice. If you can hold on that extra turn and Gwenpool on 4, Scarlet Spider on 5, maybe you do something else on turn 5, like Martyr. I like Martyr. I'm a Martyr enabler. Sumi. Symbiote Spider-Man, the Season Pass card. If you can get the Season Pass card to merge with Scarlet Spider, you've got an 11 power card, which is going to be a total of 22 power. And of course, Shuri is going to be doubling his power up to 10. But the thing is, guys, you can combine all of these things. You don't just have to do one of these things, you can combine them. Your Aranya, your Forge, your Hulkbuster. Actually, is all of this possible? Maybe not. Aranya and Forge is possible. Gwenpool can't necessarily be done with all of that. Symbiote Spider-Man is possible. Yeah, you can't do all of this stuff together, but you can certainly do a lot of it. Anyway, let's talk about some of these deck ideas. So I think a very interesting, my most interesting one probably, is this buffed Patriot one. So we have got Patriot, classic Patriot cards. So Patriot, we've got Brood in here, we've got Ultron, we've got Absorbing Man to benefit from the Brood. And you'll start to see this sort of sideways synergy. So we've got other buff cards that can increase the power of Scarlet Spider, like Fastos, Aranya, we've got Forge. But all of those things also work well with Brood, especially Aranya and Brood. Think about that one. We can move this bonus card and like split up those 3 power cards, those 3 costed cards. That's cool. And that's significant when you think about things like Ultron as well. You don't always want to, you know, Brood doesn't always feel great with Ultron because you've got this location that you're probably going to win anyway. But you can split up that extra power, so that's really cool. We've got Dazzler in here. Also, I thought, hey, we've got Brood in here. Why not stick Cersei in as a sideways backup plan? We've also got Absorbing Man to work, which can work well off of either the Fastos or the Brood. And we've also got Sandman, because I think Scarlet Spider is going to work well with Sandman. And Ultron, which works well with Sandman as well, because can you imagine the absolute madness of like Fastos, top deck Scarlet Spider, then Sandman into Ultron? That game is a guaranteed win. Maybe. And of course Patriot as well. You sort of want to stick that in there at some point because you've got multiple cards in here that benefit from the Patriot, like Scarlet Spider, Brood and Ultron. So I think this is a really cool deck and one not to be missed. My next deck idea is called Mergers McGee. So this is all about the mergers of the game and having a few cards in locations and then benefiting from the duplicating Scarlet Spider. So we've got this sort of Namora shell or Namora core. So we've got Namora, we've got Colossus, Jeff. We've got cards that you want to play on top of those to maintain that one card in each location. So we've got Hulkbuster. And we've also got in here Storm. I think that could be an interesting one with Scarlet Spider. And again, Namora. You could just storm that location and not play anything else there because you can get cards into it later on with Scarlet Spider, with Namora giving the extra power into there. So that's really cool. But you've also got, because you've got strong on-reveals in this deck, like Namora and Ironheart, you've got Wong and Odin. So maybe you want to repeat those on-reveals. And the spicy one is Arnim Zola. How about an Arnim Zola and Scarlet Spider? Okay, bear with me. So here we go. You go Scarlet Spider, then you go Namora. So your Scarlet Spider is now what, 10 power? Then you Zola the Scarlet Spider and activate it. Now, those cards, as far as I'm aware, I'm not 100% certain if this is going to work, but as far as I'm aware, the logic that I think would take place is the card that is destroyed by Arnim Zola is a Scarlet Spider that has got the token of activate in. Like it knows it's about to activate. It's like, right, after Arnim Zola is played, activate. It creates 2 copies of that. So it creates 2 copies of those 10 power cards that know that they're about to activate. So both of those activate, and so you've now got 40 power worth of card out of that Scarlet Spider play. That's going to work, right? Surely. Now, I don't know for certain. Don't hold me to it, but I think that's an interesting one to consider. My final deck idea for you here is called Buff Stars. This, guys, I just have a weakness for buffs. So you've got basically lots of cards that buff cards in this deck. So we've got America Chavez, not typically a great card to be honest. We've got Aranya, we've got Nico, we've got Hulkbuster, we've got Forge, we've got Fastus, we've got Nakia. Are we coping? Oh my god, we've got Gwenpool. You've got the cards that can duplicate those effects. So we've got Absorbing Man in here. Hell, I would have liked to have fit Grandmaster in here, to be perfectly honest. But then we've got these little sprinkling of cards that benefit massively from buffs. So we've got loads of buffs. Loads of buffs. So we don't need too many cards that benefit too greatly from buffs. We've got Brood, we've got Scarlet Spider, and we've got Sebastian Shaw. If you can get a couple of them, if you can draw 2, I think you'll be laughing. Because you've been able to boost them and buff them so much that they're going to be good on their own. I mean, hopefully you can certainly get Scarlet Spider down maybe on turn 5 if you've buffed enough cards. And then you can do both Brood and Sebastian Shaw on the final turn. Yes, this is a Brood and Sebastian Shaw deck without Silver Surfer. Who knew? Could be interesting. Could be bloody interesting. So, Scarlet Spider. Guys, I've been talking about how he's one of my favourite cards of the season. And like one of my favourite characters in general. And I just think he's incredibly fun. I'm going to be releasing loads of Indolphins. Do I think he's a snap or pass? Of course I think he's a snap. Of course I think he's a snap. Like, god damn it. I've given him 4.5 stars. Yeah, I think he's wild. I love everything about him. I love the logo. I love the ability. I love the artwork. I love the fact that it's going to release Indolphins. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like I've just kept sinking down in this thing, right, the whole time. But yeah, thank you for watching. Give this video a like, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.